What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. A little bit late, a couple minutes late, but it was for an important reason. I was trying to find like a 2-year-old article that I knew was out there and I knew I needed for what I was going to talk about later, but I just couldn't find it for some reason. I also needed to find a 7-year-old article, which I did find that one quite easily, about Kevin Feige and the MCU. That one was easy to find. The other ones, though, I don't know. Why do I look so dark today? I feel like I look tan on my face. Maybe it's what hold on. Yeah, so much is dependent on whether I have like dark mode on or a light screen next to me. That so drastically affects all of like the lighting, the color, everything. Look at that. Look at that. So much just depends on that. I'll keep it on that one. I don't mind that. That looks all right. That looks okay. Sun is back in Florida. Ryan is now Arab. Not quite. Not quite. Ladybug says DEI Ryan. DEI Ryan. Egyptian Ryan, maybe. I put on the Pharaoh hat later. If you guys get me drunk, I might put the Pharaoh hat on. I might. My forehead looks huge. I mean, that's the brand, right? That's the brand. Go look at my YouTube profile picture. Tell me how big my forehead fucking looks. What am I supposed to do? That's from 5-6 years ago. What am I supposed to do? But yes, hello, everybody. Welcome. We got stuff to talk about today. We got a little bit of Disney Star Wars, kind of funny Disney Star Wars news. We got James Gunn's DCU news because it's very strange, right? Very strange how everybody was talking about how, James Gunn's Superman is just the biggest smash hit. Even though it didn't make money, we promise you it did. Even though we ran the numbers and it didn't make money, an activist reporter came on the same site and said, we promise you, don't listen to those people. Listen to a different fucking publication. All of this shit. Yet here we are, a couple months after the release. It looks like Warner Brothers is going to be sold within the next few weeks. And it looks like whoever takes charge has plans to make a change of some sort. Man, oh man. Looks like all the shilling that people did for that movie, all the lies that were told about that movie was all for fucking nothing. All for nothing. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? What else we got? The Avengers Doomsday reveal, which was like, we already know all these people were in the movie, but they did a big new cast reveal at something they were doing in Italy and broke down who's on member of what teams and all of these things. And some people, really the current Marvel fans, they're very fucking upset. And you know what? I understand why they're upset, because for the last 5 years, Marvel's been telling us, the people that were fans through phase 1 and 2 and 3 and the lead up to Infinity War and Endgame and all this stuff, hey, we're looking for a new audience. We're looking for a different audience. Go fuck yourselves. Still come to the movies, but really go fuck yourselves for whatever you actually want. We're looking for a new audience. Well, that new audience, as small as it is, they are very, very mad that there's so few female heroes in Avengers Doomsday. That's the audience you've cultivated. That's the audience that you have cultivated. Isn't that weird? And also, we may talk a little bit about Stranger Things numbers and viewership, mostly because, look, I have been patiently, very patiently awaiting the release of Stranger Things. Not just because I, wanted to see how it ended, because of course I did, but also because I got into a big fucking argument, a big fight on Geeks and Gamers Daily a little over a month ago when reports were out about potentially Stranger Things going into the theaters and, blah, 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 all of these things. And I got some pushback. Got some pushback from Beardo. I had a big argument with Beardo on Daily. And in the comments, I saw a lot of people that just thought I was just so far off. When I said, I know what I said was so crazy. I said, regardless of whether you are interested in watching Stranger Things or not, it's going to be fucking massive. It's going to be one of the biggest things that Netflix has ever seen. It's going to be huge. This last season is going to be huge. And for the limited amount of theaters that they put it out there for the finale in theaters, those limited theaters are going to sell out really fucking quick. But a lot of you guys in the comments, didn't agree with me. Beardo didn't agree with me. But I, as I usually do, I thought I was 100% right. And I thought I'd be proven right. Well, here we are today, and I was proven exactly 100% right. And you think that I'm going to forget about that? No. I've been replying to motherfuckers on that video from a month ago today. Just say, people are like, Ryan's so wrong on this. No one's going to go to a theater. Ryan's so wrong on this. There's no interest for Stranger Things. Get fucked, bitches. Now, that doesn't mean that it's great. That doesn't mean the season's great. It just means that I'm right, as I usually fucking am. That's what it means. That's what it means. And I did go to Beardo's stream earlier today. And this is not an anti-Beardo thing. This is an anti-everybody. I went into Beardo's chat today and I was like, hey, any update on Stranger Things hype? And he was like, look, I admit I was wrong. There's a lot of excitement for it. So that was good. That's all I needed to hear. Stoic Lion says, damn, Ryan's a sore winner. No, I'm not a sore winner. I'm just a fucking winner. I'm going to let you know. Now, if nobody had been shit-talking me, if nobody had been saying that I was wrong, if nobody had been calling me an idiot for being so fucking spot-on right about this entire thing, then you know what? I would have just been like, hey, it looks like kind of what I thought. Stranger Things doing really well. But since some of y'all decided that you were going to, call me out about how wrong I'm going to be, I got to let you know. Right? I got to let you know. So I will. Now, that doesn't mean I'm always right. I often am right. But specifically when it comes to viewing things outside, what I feel like this little corner of our space here, I feel like even if I don't feel that way about something, in general, I can look and be like, I think there's a lot of people that are interested in that. Even if it's not something for me, I think there's a lot of people that are interested in that. I think it's going to do okay, blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff. So, yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit. All right. Ladybug is here. Who else is here? Oh, thank y'all, Stone Cold's beard. Did people expect Ryan not to spike the football? Did the Dave Filoni saga teach you people nothing? Yes, this is not a Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, gentleman. I score a touchdown and I hand the ball to the fucking referee. This is, I give it a big old Gronkowski spike in the fucking end zone and let you know that I scored. That's how it is. That's how it is. But we do have, who's in the chat? I see Noons is in the chat. I see Tiger King, Rex Carter. I see Joshua Curtis, the Tankala, the Horde, Vinny, the Arthurton, random logo. You found Floyd. Let's see. You found Floyd Colpercast, the only Saj. I'm JMS, Tommy Campari, David Smart Jr., M9876667, Blue-Eyed Scorpio, Thundarius, Bradley Scott, Fantastic, Mr. Knox. Who else? Black and White Sports. I'll get to that one. What's up, Rhodes? What's up, Rhodes from Black and White? Jesus, Ludstat, Ryan V, Johnny, Little Orphan Funkhauser. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream tonight. Ryan never misses. I'm not, look, I am not perfect. Okay. Well, I'm not perfect in terms of me as a person, certainly, but I'm not perfect when it comes to predictions or, takes. I'm certainly not. However, there's some things I'm pretty confident in. When I get into a big drag out argument, I just got to let y'all know. That's it. That's it. I see Black and White Sports 2 for $50. 50 from Rhodes. What's up, Rhodes Rants? Go check out Black and White Sports. These guys are awesome. John Matrix and Rhodes. Ryan is the only dude on YouTube that out F-bombs even me. I think, Rhodes, did you share that stupid park hopping video? Or not park hopping, the plus size park hoppers video of me losing my mind. You guys think my blood pressure is high on a normal day? I actually felt like my heart was going to explode that day. Talking about the plus size park hoppers and then Jay bringing up the diversity wrapping paper shit. I genuinely felt like I was like I was going to pass out because of how angry it made me. That's over on Geeks and Gamers Clips. Is that the name of that channel now? Geeks and Gamers Clips. Analysis lay off the coke, bruh. I've never had cocaine in my fucking life. And that's probably a good thing because I am so fucking hyped all the time. And I am so intense and fucking, not to say there's certainly days where I'm dragging. There's certainly days when I have no energy. I think that happens to everybody. But in general, I feel like I'm so like lit all the time that if I did coke, I think it would be a fucking disaster, dude. And knowing my personality, I'd probably get like fucking extremely addicted to the feeling. So that's going to be a no for me. That's going to be a no for me. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. All right. I'm drinking a little bit for Rhodes. Shout out to my man Rhodes. Yeah, I need the downers. That's what I need. No uppers, just downers. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so Ryan needs downers. Got it. Yeah, I really think that's. I really think that's true. Ryan would be streaming at 2 times speed. I feel like I already speak when I'm when I'm on a roll. I feel like I speak really quick. Now, live streams are a little different sometimes than my videos because my videos, I'm pretty focused on what I want to talk about. Live streams with people coming in, saying this, saying that, me chit-chatting, thinking about things for a while. Sometimes I a little bit slow down when it comes to that stuff, but normally I talk fast as fuck, boys. Kara is here. What's up? She says, "Sup, nerds." You guys gonna take that? You gonna take that? It's called you nerds. Alex Aerocave for 2. Go to MetaPC, use code RK Outpost. That's right, Alex. And shout out, I have seen a couple of you guys buying stuff from MetaPC over the last few days using my code. I really do appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. And I've known those guys from Meta for forever. So big shout out. If you are thinking, still time for Christmas. Still time for Christmas. Little Black Friday hangover sales and stuff like that over on MetaPCs. If you're thinking about it for yourself or for somebody else, go check it out. And use code RK Outpost for a discount. Or just click the link. Click the link in the description of this live stream right now. Or in any one of my fucking videos that I ever put out. Just do that. And use the code RK Outpost. Hunter for $2. Ryan, why are you gay? I hate YouTube. Hail. Well, hail, Hunter. Hail, Hunter. Cole Hauser for 5. What's up, Ryan? My brother, you're always dark to me. Sent you a message. Let me know what you think of my Riga praise. Rah. Cole Hauser, you sent me a message today about possibly coming on your stream for a discussion, maybe about 24 or something like that. The answer is absolutely, positively yes. I don't know why I couldn't say positively, but yes, absolutely. Finding a time to do that might be a little tough, but yes, dude, of course I'll come on. Of course I'll come on. It'll help my reputation in the black community as well. I could use all the help I can get. So, Jesus for 5. Ryan just came off Beardo's stream. Saw you in the chat. I told him to chug. I think you mean chug a beer with me. Hopefully you can take a shot of whiskey with me. 3, 2, 1, go. I already took my shot, Jesus. I take shots. $50 super chats and up on any stream. That's what I'll do it. That's when I'll do it. So if you don't want to get me fucked up, those are the rules. Those are the rules. Is Ripa in here too? Did somebody say, I think somebody said, hail Ripa. There he is. Shout out. What's up, Ripa? Sorry, up, Ripa. I saw him put out was it a video yesterday or day before about saying fuck you to AI and not replacing employees? That's good. You know, I feel like I could easily be replicated by AI. I feel like that would be pretty easy for someone to do, to scan the 4.5 thousand videos that I fucking uploaded on YouTube over the past 6 years and produce a believable enough facsimile of me just being angry at shit. I feel like it could happen. I don't know if I have any fucking skill set that's not replaceable like that, at least on YouTube. At least not on YouTube. Stranger Things is sold out in NYC theaters. Stranger Things is sold out in Orlando. Now, they did add, look, because I had this argument. I'll play a little bit of that argument at some point in this because it's funny. Now, Beardo has already retracted what he said earlier. So it's not about bashing Beardo or anything. But I will play a little bit of that because just because you might not be excited for Stranger Things doesn't mean there's not a massive fucking fan base out there, and there really truly is. Stranger Things is the biggest premiere week that they've ever had for any season, and in fact, it's the biggest premiere week they've had for anything that's English language. Squid Game being the when it comes to TV shows, Squid Game being the outlier, I believe. 60 million views in the first 4 days and 4 hours or whatever that is. Pretty big. The biggest ever for Stranger Things, biggest ever for any show that they've ever had that's English language. And then when it comes to the theaters, 500 theaters had, 1 or 2 showings, some at like 8 o'clock, some at 9 o'clock, right in that time, 8 o'clock, and then another one following at 9 o'clock. That's what most of them had to match up when the show is going to get released. And they sold out in fucking minutes. Minutes. To the point where people were fucking pissed because they didn't have enough time. They didn't have opportunity to buy one. So a lot of theaters are adding extra ones. But right now, I can't even. All right, finally, I'm able to click on some of them. And even those are all sold out except for like the fucking, like the very front. I'm still getting error codes trying to get in there. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Still won't let me into some of them. But yeah, it's going to be huge. It's not a wide release though. No, it's not. Of course it's not a fucking wide release. It's a special fucking screening of the finale of the 5th season of a fucking show. No, it's not 4,000 theaters. And in fact, all of the fucking money is not even going to Netflix. All the money is going directly to the theaters. They just wanted to do it for fans to have an opportunity to watch it. Do you sing and bring your dog to Stranger Things? No. Ladybug for 199. Ryan was right, tax. There you go. That's going to be expensive for you, Ladybug, if I get one of those every time I'm right. Jake Stanley Blue Blazed. Kind of you to Grace Bro Science. I did Grace Bro Science. I distracted everyone about Stranger Things, and then I fucking left. Shout out to those guys. It's just not my like the babe of the that's not my stuff. The babe of the week and everything. Not my cup of tea, but more power to them. They've been going a long time over there. David Smart Jr. Nothing more irritating than I wear my all-American hoodie or clothing and people in NYC look at me with disgust. Shaking my head, I'm a proud American. Keep your head on a swivel there in NYC. Keep your head on a swivel. Dr. Gordo, member for 30 months. Hello. Thank you, Dr. Gordo, for 30 fucking months as a member. Joshua Henderson, here's my take on why are people saying SS? Stranger Things. ST. Why are people saying SS? Why do so many people say SS, Joshua? I don't think it's as bad as some people are saying, but I do think it walks a thin line between trying to decide what it wants to be, season 3 or 4. It's a mixed bag, still enjoyable. Right now, I would put, like, if I were to just judge these 4 episodes, I would put it at the quality of, like, season 3 level, which is maybe like a 6.5, 7, somewhere around there. However, this is my kind of caveat. That's the same way I felt about the first 4 episodes of season 4. And I think that the last half of season 4 is fucking phenomenal. So I'm hoping we get a similar thing there. There's a couple of characters I really hope are going to die. There's some characters that I will be really fucking mad if they die. There's some characters that I'm interested in that I wasn't before. There's some characters that I'm done with, period. A little bit of a mixed bag. But in terms of what people are saying, I think that there might be some people saying things in this space, and you hear a lot of that. I don't think that's the feeling from the general audience. Now, I think some of them are overhyping it. I believe that season 5, episode 4 is the highest rated on IMDb, the highest rated episode of Stranger Things in history. I don't think that that should be the case. I don't think it's the best episode of Stranger Things. I think that's a recency thing. But if you're talking about what a lot of people are feeling, that's what a lot of people are feeling as well. So I think the reality is somewhere in the middle. I think the reality is somewhere in the middle. Like so far, I enjoyed the first 4 episodes. It's not to the same level as season 4, but it could be by the end. Dirty Red for $20. A bit off topic, but what are your thoughts on Terminalist Dark Wolf? Think we'll get a second season of that series, and will Rafe Hastings be in the upcoming season with James Reese? Yes. So I was shocked we got so much Rafe in it, and I love that we got so much Rafe because Rafe is an important part of the Terminalist story going forward. And I was not expecting much from Terminalist Dark Wolf. I was like, whatever. I know what happens to him. I was like, whatever. I fucking really liked it. I really liked Dark Wolf. Not as much as Terminalist. I rewatched season 1 after that, and I'm like, God, this is so fucking good. When do we get another season of that? But yeah, Terminalist season 2 is going to be hype. Age Looper Call for 5. Who's the better 2-sport athlete, Deion or Bo Jackson? I mean, if we had been able to see Bo throughout everything, probably Bo. But in terms of the body of work, you might have to say Deion. But if you're asking like at their fucking peak, if injuries hadn't been a part of it, if all that stuff, probably Bo. Rusher, cocaine is just coffee for your nose. No biggie. I don't know. I'm not gonna risk it. Sky Reaver for £2 says black. Black. Subnoku says, notice me, bitch. What's up, Subnoku? What are you saying? What did you say earlier? It was the only thing you said, and I just so happened to see it. Tommy Campari, black with a hard B. When did I say black? Black Friday, is that what I said? I said that one from David Smart. Slodo goes mobile for 5, with ScarJo seemingly being in the Batman 2. Wait. ScarJo? Who's she going to play? I think Phantasm. I don't see Ivy, maybe Vicky Vale. When did that? What? Is that for real? Or is this like a bullshit rumor? Oh, 2 hours ago. Wow. Scarlett Johansson circles new role. Wow. 2 hours ago. When it comes to plot details and who Johansson might be playing, the film's secrets are harder to uncover than Bruce Wayne's Batcave. I don't fucking know, man. I yeah, it's the first I've seen it. You don't see Ivy? I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do for Batman Part 2. I don't know what they're gonna do for Batman Part 2, but that is relatively breaking. That is relatively breaking. That was 2 hours ago. Almost exactly 2 hours ago. That's crazy. You've been trying to design something for me, Sepnuku? I'll check Twitter if you've been trying to get my attention there. Taylor Kitsch, I actually really like Taylor Kitsch, and I wish that he was in more shit. I've always liked him. I don't know how he is as a dude. He seems cool. He's like all the guys involved with Terminalists in terms of what they do for vets and like working with the military for these things. And obviously Jack Carr and his experiences and why he wrote the books and everything like plays a huge part in it. But Taylor Kitsch seems like a great dude. And I wish he was in more shit. I like John Carter. I like John Carter too. It has its issues, but I would have loved to see um I would have loved to see more. And you can't. I mean, it flopped. It was a financial failure. So it obviously didn't work. But still, man. Still. Holly Berry declares Gavin Newsom probably should not be our next president over menopause bill veto. Okay. That's also on Deadline. That's random. That's random. Maddie over in Rumble. What's up, my Rumble peeps? Said, would you love to see Brie Larson cast as Wonder Woman in James Gunn's DCU? Well, Maddie, I personally wouldn't want to see any more of James Gunn's DCU, but I don't think that Brie Larson fits as Wonder Woman. I don't think it. I don't think that Brie Larson fits as Wonder Woman. Jose Contreras says, so I went back and saw your oldest video on YouTube. Man, you were so different and polite. I mean, look, the difference in my first couple videos on YouTube are that I had never spoken in front of a camera, recorded myself saying anything like that before. Now, I had been public speaking. I mean, my time in the military, I was public speaking almost on a daily basis. Now, I mean, to 70 or 80 people at a time, or occasionally departmental training where you might have a couple hundred people and stuff. But I was always presenting plans to, the higher ups and, the reactor officers, sometimes even the commanding officer when we needed to. I was comfortable talking to people, but I had never talked to no one, if that makes sense. So it was a very new thing for me to get comfortable speaking on camera when you're not getting reactions from people, when you're not, when you don't have any feedback, you're not like bouncing things off somebody else. Yeah, it was very new and very different for me. So, I mean, it took me a while to really get comfortable doing it, you know? 2012 was Taylor's year. Battleship and John Carter. I hated Battleship with a passion because I was in the military at the time. I fucking hated it. CJ, Stranger Things is one of the least damaged franchises. It never had a Last Jedi nor Rings of Power moment. Well, it also is its own thing, right? Where like that's a new thing that came out in 2016, whereas as opposed to franchises that have spanned decades and decades and decades that have fans that are all ages and an expectation and stuff. Stranger Things is a new franchise that was created, so it's different that way too. Dom H with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Dom. Shout out to my man Dom. Joshua Henderson, I'm praying they don't fuck up Suicide Stranger Things like they did Game of Thrones. Yeah, me too. I don't know what is it with the SS, you guys. You just fucking going all Nazi with it. Jose Taco, Ryan, SS. Fantastic Mr. Knox. SS as in Stranger Sheet? Maybe. I don't fucking know. Blue-Eyed Scorpio. Did you like SS Season 1, SS Season 2, SS Season 3, or SS Season 4 best? Stranger Things Season 1 is the best season. It's the tightest season. However, Season 4 is really, really good. And it's also so much fucking bigger in scale that Season 4 is more enjoyable, if that makes sense. Like so far, I think Stranger Things Season 4 is my favorite season because of so much that's been built up and so much history you have with the characters and all these new characters that we've had throughout the years. But Season 1, it's kind of like how, Empire Strikes Back is the best fucking Star Wars movie, but it might not be my favorite Star Wars movie. Stranger Things Season 1 is the best. I meant to say ST, my bad. Trying to keep it short. You're not the only one that does it. Fucking people do this all the time, and now people are going to do it on purpose. But I don't know why so many people do it on accident. SCDB, Lunar Wolves greater than Sons of Horus. Garviel Loken greater than Horus. I don't know what this means. Sons of Horus. Is this Sons of Horus? Is this Warhammer shit? Is this Warhammer stuff? It feels like it might be. Warhammer. Okay, it is. All right, look at that. I knew something about Horus Heresy being like something that someone had recommended me to read. That was the only context that I fucking had. That was the only context that I had. I also don't know what the difference between the different Warhammer numbers are. 30K, 40K. Does that mean what year they're in? I don't know, man. I don't have enough fucking room in my brain to get into that. You know what I do have enough room in my brain for? Shitting on Marvel a little bit. I got time for that. I always got time for that. Actually, but where's the thing I needed though? I just told you guys that I had this old fucking article pulled up. Oh, I have that article. All right, I found it. Good. All right, I think we're ready to talk about it. I should have double checked that before I attempted to do my transition. With that forehead, Ryan has a ton of room in his brain. I know. That's the joke, right? A mind like Kim Kardashian, plenty of empty space. That's pretty good. You guys liked my Kim Kardashian thumbnail. You guys really like my Kim Kardashian thumbnail. Wouldn't be a stream without issues. We run a pretty tight ship over here, don't we? I can get some credit for that, especially after my performance on Friday Night Tights, right? After my performance on Friday Night Tights, keeping that shit together. I mean, come on. Got to give me my flowers for that one. Got to give me my flowers for that one. All right, let's talk about Avengers Doomsday a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot riding on Avengers Doomsday for Marvel when it comes to the future of the MCU. Not just because of how much freaking money they're going to spend on this thing. The budget's going to be insane, especially after the reveal that they spent $500 million on Deadpool and Wolverine and were forced to disclose that despite lying about their budget. Just imagine what it's going to be for Doomsday, paying all these different people, paying Robert Downey Jr. a truckload full of money. It's going to be nuts. But obviously, there's a lot of pressure on them to get this right because people are not excited about Marvel. People haven't been excited about Marvel for years, and this is the chance to do it. Whether it'll happen or not, I, along with many others, have our doubts. But interestingly enough, even the very same fan base that Marvel decided to cater to over the past several years, apparently now they have problems with Avengers Doomsday. New Doomsday video confirms the cast will be divided into 6 teams. And this was revealed at some big Disney presentation in Italy or somewhere like that, where they did a little presentation specifically splitting all of the cast into the different teams that they're going to be on, and a big portrait reveal of all of this stuff. The main cast of Avengers Doomsday was recently teased at Disney Plus, at a Disney Plus event or something like that. Right? And you can see all of them here. You see the Fantastic Four, you see Thor, you see Robert Downey Jr. over there. I think the Russos are appearing in the picture over here. You see all the Wakandans, you see the Thunderbolts. So many characters, very few of which people actually care about. But what a lot of people noticed was a suspicious lack of women. MCU over? Avengers Doomsday promo kickstarts the testosterone. It kickstarts the testosterone. I feel like maybe a little bit too hyperbolic with some of the people we're talking about, like Pedro Pascal, who's queerer than a $2 bill. But there is not very many women in this promo, which people found interesting. Because let's never forget, I will make sure people never forget this. When you look at the MCU, this wasn't some accidental, natural thing that happened. This is what Kevin Feige told us he wanted to do. Back in 2018, June 26, 2018, Marvel Boss wants more female than male heroes in the MCU. This is Kevin Feige that said this in 2018 during the lead up and people's hype level for Infinity War and eventually Endgame and all that stuff. This is when Kevin Feige stated this, and they intentionally tried to do it, and it failed in every possible aspect. The MCU is in a worse place than it's ever been in history. That's why Avengers Doomsday is so important to them. And now that everything is on the line, suspicious lack of strong, powerful female characters that you rolled out and tried to force down everyone's throats. And your audience, the one that you've been catering to, even though it's been failing, even though the ratings have been terrible on Disney Plus, even though the box office receipts have been tragically bad, that audience, they're noticing that you're not giving them what you promised. Demet herself, whoever this is, Nexus Point News founder. Oh my gosh. Can we bring MCU back? Because what the hell is this? You can see a lot of men in these pictures here. This cringe Buffy reply account, by the way. Only 5 women? I know, right? Be patient. This isn't the full cast. Well, there are going to be more male heroes as well, presumably, so the ratio stays the same, right? Very, very upset. Wants the MCU back, the one that failed so many times. And the reason I saw this because Gary tweeted about it. Gary, who I believe coined the phrase MCU. I think he does deserve the credit for that. I can't remember anyone saying it before. And now, even people that love it say it, right? They say it like that. He coined this term. He should be getting revenue or something from all of this. But other people noticed other things, a little bit of a lack of diversity. 1 black man, 4 women, and a biracial. Lord! This person says, so I'm guessing by the way it's sectioned, the main cast will likely have most of the screen time. Being very mad that there's not enough women in that main cast. Everybody's saying, wait for the full cast. Full cast or not, the difference between the amount of men and women is abysmal, says Becca, the Suprint. #Fantastic Four. Look, Marvel's done this to themselves. 5 years ago, no one would have fucking bitched about this. And you had a couple female characters that people really enjoyed. Maybe a handful that people didn't, but a couple female characters that people Truly, truly enjoyed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But what we've seen over the past 5 years, past 6 years really, has been this dedicated effort to push these characters that people do not like down your throats. That's what we've seen. And it failed time and time and time again. You can go back and look at that Captain Marvel box office all you want, but the truth is, Captain Marvel had nothing to do. The success of Captain Marvel, the movie, had nothing to do with people liking Carol Danvers as a character. It had everything to do with it being sandwiched between the two biggest comic book movies in history and them telling you that this is the key to it. A cliffhanger at the end of Infinity War telling you about Captain Marvel and them marketing it as you need to watch Captain Marvel before Endgame, which you really fucking didn't. That's why it made $1 billion fucking dollars, not because people were really invested in the fucking character. But this is the expectation that Marvel has set for the remaining fans of the MCU. They gave them MCU. And the normal fans, they noped out. They bounced out. They said, fuck this shit. Now, obviously not for me anymore. And that's why we've seen all these fucking failures. Now they're trying to get those fans back, right? I don't know if it's going to work or not. But the fans you have remaining, the freaks and the weirdos and the activists and shit like that, the ones that you sold them on the MCU and they bought all in, the few of them that there are, you set yourselves up for this. Because this is the audience you fucking wanted. This is the audience you fucking catered to. And now they're mad that you don't have enough women in Avengers Doomsday. Simu Liu counts. Probably should. Probably should. Captain Marvel. DC, you are highly sexist to just cancel these women. Your patriarchy has taken over and now toxic masculinity really shows. What does that mean? DC. Got almost 1,000 people watching. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for being here. David Smart Jr. for 2. I'm dying at the gym. I want beer. I had a really good gym session earlier today, if I'm going to be honest with you, like a really good one. And then I immediately came back and slammed some leftover pizza. So I basically just negated all of it. That happens, though. These things happen. Unfortunately. Beer sounds okay. I'm good. Well, I mean, I kind of don't like this whiskey. I'm almost done with it, thank God. The only time I drink this is on stream with you guys, just so you know. So it's lasting a long time. Fantastic, Mr. Knox for Aussie 5. $500 million. Did Disney beg Hugh Jackman to return as Wolverine again? Look, we put out a video about that. We talked about it on stream, I think, the other day, but we put out a video about that. We put out a video about that a week ago or so. And despite Disney telling everyone that the budget was $200 million, Avengers Doomsday actually cost, Deadpool and Wolverine, they actually spent around $540 million on it. Just the production budget, no marketing included. Now, with the UK tax breaks, I think it got brought down to somewhere in the $760 million threshold, right around there. But still, that's a pretty big difference. It's over 2 times as much, right? 2.5 times as expensive as what you told us it was. Kind of factors into if this film actually made money or not. So, and that's why I'm saying, if that movie cost over $500 $1 billion. What do you think Doomsday is going to cost? That movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, which, sir, you had a couple cameos and you had a couple big fight scenes and stuff like that. But do we think that the necessary level of effect shots and all of these things that go in, like the stages that they're going to have to fucking build out, the fucking cast, the crew with all these extra fucking people, it's going to be so much money. $700 million is, I might even be lowballing it for it to cost $700 million. Now, they are filming in the UK, which means eventually we'll find out the truth, regardless of what they say, because they will have to put it on the tax break form to get the tax benefits, and they will get tax benefits. I'm sure they'll get like over $100 million back for it, but it's going to be a lot of money. RDJ's salary takes the majority of that budget. Not really. RDJ's salary, I think, is what, $60 million? So, and it won't be the majority, but it'd be a chunk, especially when you have to pay the Russo brothers $60 million as well. And both of them have back-end deals for the theater revenue. So Disney might be lucky if they make any fucking money at all. At all. Why does it matter anyway? It made 1.3 billion, broke even. Well, do you know why it matters? I'm JMS. Because let's just say they spent about $500 million on Deadpool and Wolverine. And let's say the marketing budget is similar to all the other fucking movies they've put out, like that level, $150 million. So they spent $650 million, give or take, on this movie. At 1.3 billion, it is a question as to whether it broke even or not because of the revenue splits for the theaters and the studio. That's why the budget's important. That's why. Because if I make a movie, say Superman comes out, and Superman makes $600 million of the fucking box office, and everybody wants to claim it's just a huge success. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's incredible. Look at all the money it's going to make. And you tell me that, well, the budget's $225 million and the marketing budget's $125 million. So we're actually $350 million into this thing. It's like, oh shit, I don't know if you broke even on that. Is it really a success? And then when you factor in they actually spent way more than that on the actual budget and on the marketing, this is why the budget does fucking matter. This is why it matters. Jesus. Jesus. I'm not watching Doomsday. I'll wait 2 months later. Fair enough. SCDB for 5. Yes, my last super chat was 40K related. Every time you read a super chat from H. Lupercal, the worst best son, I want to say some 40K shit. Yeah, I don't fucking know about any of that shit. I'm proud of myself that I knew enough to know that. David Smart, I'm 100% sure Scarlet Witch is in Avengers Doomsday. I hope Doctor Doom destroys all of the new MCU characters. I mean, it'd be funny if he killed all of, like, it'd be really funny if he killed, like, all the fucking Thunderbolts except Bucky. He kills fucking Captain America. He kills all the characters that nobody fucking, he kills. I want him to kill Simu Liu right off the bat. 5 minutes in, I want Simu Liu dead by Doctor Doom. He'd be the sacrificial lamb. The sacrificial lamb. Do you think we'll ever see Disney as a company fold in our lifetime? They seem to be hemorrhaging money left and right. Well, look, they are hemorrhaging money when it comes to things like their entertainment section. With the parks, they're just so big. They're such a big fucking company. when you look at the parks, when you look at some of the contracts they have and stuff, when it comes to NBA things or sports things, and despite ESPN's flagship shows and programming not performing like it used to, sports are fucking massive. Their partnerships with places like DraftKings to get money from and things like that. ESPN makes money. The parks make so much fucking money, man. So unlike, say Warner Brothers or maybe Paramount or something like that, who their business is very much just fucking entertainment focused, putting out movies, television shows, streaming, linear television, whatever. Disney with the parks is a different fucking animal. Like I don't think I'll ever see them fold. Now, there is concern because like their numbers are down a little bit. Their money is up, but the numbers of people going are down. Very similar to what we saw happen in theaters, right? When like not nearly as many people go see movies anymore, but they get charged a fucking lot for it. It's kind of what's happening now in some of the parks. But in my lifetime, so if you're asking in the next 40 years, maybe less, I don't know. Won't be around forever, right? But if you're asking in my lifetime, will we see a fucking collapse? I'm not sure. Not sure about that. Crazy December people. Florida Guy FM. I mean, I think it's crazy that it's fucking December already. I think it's crazy that it's December already. All right, let's get rid of that. I mean, since we're speaking about Superman anyway. Might as well talk a little DC, huh? We might as well talk a little bit about DC. Where is this? Get out of here. I don't care about the Rush Hour 4 shit. Oh, wait. I got to fucking check out this account real quick. Everything DC. I'm pretty sure they're one of those fucking Indian fucks. Yeah, West Asia. Everything DCU. Promise we're not a bot farm. I'm from India. Won't even fucking tell us where you're from. Not even what fucking country. It says United States for me, right? Before I fucking make fun of somebody. I haven't even checked my own. I hope it doesn't say North America or some shit. United States. All right, good. Before I shit on somebody for that. Wanted to make sure that I didn't have like the country thing turned off. Wouldn't have any reason to be. Spartan Radio says, nah, bro, you're racist. What's racist? Calling out people who are fucking LARPing, and pretending to be like super fucking invested in these American things or whatever. And then it turns out that their accounts are from Nigeria or fucking India or somewhere like that. What are you talking about? I would be just as upset if it was, I don't know, a fucking white dude in South Africa. I would be just as upset if it's somebody from, I don't know, fucking Germany or some shit. I'm JMS says, you people are so obsessed with MCU and DC failing. Like, get a life, my guy. You know what? I'm JMS. Oh, I just noticed your fucking profile picture is the Fantastic Four, gay fucking Pedro Pascal. Dude, I'm JMS. You're a fucking weirdo and a lunatic. And instead of get a life, I'm going to recommend that you take your own. I'm just going to be real. I think that's the best path forward for you. And I mean that in a completely hypothetical manner. When I say take your life, I mean take it in your own hands, do something with it. Just to be clear, in case anyone thought I meant something different, take your own life into your hands and do something of value with it. Just trying to be supportive. Just trying to be supportive. Now, for me, in a hypothetical situation, if my profile picture was Pedro Pascal, I would kill myself. But that's a hypothetical. I'm JMS says rage bait dummy. Richard Curtis. Ryan is all right. Simu, or however you spell his lame name, sucks. I think bad people are not good. Good people are not all bad. That is all. I sat on my chocolate and it melted. My brain hurts. Look, I think that even if I fucking look, there are some people. I feel like I have more of a tolerance for this than a lot of other people out there in this space. There are very few people that, even if they're annoying as fuck, even if they're fucking terrible, like if their politics are off or they're telling people to fuck off all the time if they voted for Trump or whatever, like very few people actually am like bothered by that while watching their shit, as long as they're a good actor or actress. Some people do go beyond that. For Simu Liu is like so unimportant. I think he's a fucking retard. But my biggest problem with Simu Liu is I thought his fucking movie sucked. I thought Shang-Chi fucking sucked. Now, when you combine it fucking sucking with them being really annoying, that is the worst of both worlds. Chicken Wing, I see the Niners helmet in the background. Are you from Bay Area? Just ask as I am. No, Chicken Wing, I'm not. I'm actually, so you can see the Bears stuff and the Purdue stuff. I'm from Northwest Indiana. I'm a Bears fan. Have been all my life. However, I do just collect sports memorabilia, and I was nice enough to get gifted this. This is signed by Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, George Kittle. So, even though I'm not a Niners fan, pretty fucking cool. Stanford signed by John Elway. The Chargers helmet signed by Sean Merriman. Ryan, where's my hat I gave you? Says Dom. Hold on. I might see it over here. Born in Indiana, but doesn't slobber over the Colts. I'm going to be real with all of you guys. One, I am closer to Chicago than I am to Indianapolis. And growing up, virtually everybody where I lived was Bears fans, not Colts fans. That started to change a little when the Bears went through a little struggle and the Colts had fucking Peyton and all this shit. Some fair weather fans shifted over, but heavy Bears representation in northern Indiana. But fuck the Colts. Found it. Sitting on my printer. Are you from Hammond? Yeah. I'm from like the Valpo area. That's where I was born. Fake Hoosier? No, fuck you. Bears have been around a lot longer than the fucking Colts have, especially in Indy. This is my Yankees hat I got from Dom. I'm putting it back down. I appreciate it, but I don't want it. Oh, you're from Hammond, Louisiana. Okay. Okay. All right, where are we? Ryan, where's the Pikachu onesie you sent? I said, yeah, you never sent me shit, Blue-Eyed Scorpio. Shut up. I didn't get a Pikachu onesie from you. From Chi-Town. Somebody from Chi-Town in the chat, too. Lurking Carolyn says, Pikachu onesie, I'm here for it. The only onesies I own, I believe I own a Batman onesie. I mean, it's not like a onesie. It's really just like, oh, I mean, I guess it is. It's like a one-piece pajama thing. It's got like a fucking Velcro cape on it. Do I have any others? I don't think I have any others. I know it might be shocking for all of you. I'm not a big onesie guy. I'm not a big onesie guy. Is A Song of Ice and Fire worth listening to or worth reading? I think so. Unfortunately, you need to be okay with never having an end to it. But I think it's really fucking good. I think it's really fucking good. Common Sense Commissioner. Anonymous account. So funny. These are just channels of nerds who only clap back and at lesser nerds. I think you mean at. You're not very proficient with the English language, apparently. Common Sense Commissioner. Ryan's not shit, and deep down, he knows he's not. You know, here's the thing, Common Sense Commissioner. There are plenty of people that are on YouTube that really, I mean, it's like the perfect thing for them because they may not have been able to work very well, like a different job, or they didn't want to have a fucking boss or whatever like that. A little bit different for me. I operated nuclear reactors for years. Then I trained other people on how to operate nuclear reactors. And my options when I got out were direct pipeline into working at a civilian reactor plant or training a bunch of people that were going to be doing that very same thing. Pretty well paying, pretty secure lifestyle. But I felt like I really didn't want to go into work anymore. Like I didn't really want to go in and have someone to fucking answer to, that I really didn't want to do that. And luckily for me, because I'm fucking good at everything in my entire fucking life. I always have been, I always will be, because I'm just better than most people out there. I'm smarter than most people out there. Hell, I'm even fucking better at sports than most people out there, despite my build. I'm sure I could take your ass on a fucking basketball court, football field, wherever the fuck we went. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to fucking do. Now that I'm not in the Navy anymore, and I did advance rather quickly in the Navy, faster than about 99% of other people that are in the military. I guess it makes sense considering I got a 99 on my fucking ASVAB. That was smarter than everybody in the military too. So the reality is, I could pretty much do anything I fucking want to. You know what I want to do? I want to do this. And for me, shitting on retards like you, it's actually quite fun. Anonymous little fucksticks like you who think you're something, but you are less. I have a little bit of an ego, but I fucking deserve it because I'm just quite frankly better than most people. So when I see somebody that comes by and says something fucking retarded, I will talk some shit because I'm hot shit and you never fucking will be. That's just the truth. You cum guzzling bitch. So congratulations. According to your own words, you're just a lesser nerd that I'm shitting on. Congratulations. Promo. Bar none industrial. Wait, Ryan, you're serious? A 99 on the ASVAB? Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Would you say that to someone's face? Yes. Blood Scorpion only got a 50. That's average. So, hey. That's average. Nothing wrong with average Blood Scorpio. Josh Henderson, did you read my stuff about the Snyder? I think I might have missed that. Let me read that before we get into DC. I'm getting really annoyed the more people have their hopes up with the Snyderverse. I didn't hate it, but I was not a fan. It had issues. Animation is the GOAT. Look, here's what I say. And I mean, for you guys that have followed it a while, obviously you know that I quite enjoyed a lot of the Snyderverse stuff that was actually Snyderverse before Joss Whedon's Justice League and before it just expanded out to things that had nothing to do with that original vision. However, I think people really need to slow their roll. I think people are getting way overexcited about the possibility of Snyder coming back and restoring it and doing Justice League 2 and 3. Think of what it would take for that to happen. Think of all the parties involved. Think of all the fucking actors that would have to come back. I don't think Ezra Miller's coming back as Flash anytime soon. I'm just going to say that. I think it's highly unlikely. However, we thought it was highly unlikely that we'd ever see Zack Snyder's version of Justice League, period. And that happened. However, this is a bigger task. I do think that people are getting their hopes up a little bit over that. But the truth is, the reality is, the reason that's happening, the reason the Snyderverse stuff is taking on this life of its own and getting so much attention right now, the reason that's happening is because James Gunn's DC universe did not excite people the way that they needed it to, despite the hype from the media, despite all that. I'm going to repeat a bunch of this shit in this fucking clip. So why don't I just address it here? Why don't I just address it here? That guy was indeed a nerd. Maybe. Maybe he was. All right. Let's get... I already got it pulled up. The entire time I was fucking talking and bitching and fucking ranting, I had the thing up the entire fucking time. So let's talk about it. Within the next few weeks, everyone fully expects Warner Brothers to be sold in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's going to be to Comcast, who only wants part of it, whether it's going to be to Netflix, who only wants part of it, or whether what seems the most likely scenario, it's to Paramount, who wants the entire thing, bad parts and all. They want all of Warner Brothers. And as these second bids and third bids and fourth bids from a bunch of these different companies have now come out and are public, including some money from foreign investors when it comes to a place like Paramount, it seems like Paramount is the leader in the clubhouse. And when you look at the hoops that you would have to jump through for someone like Netflix to buy the studios and the third biggest streamer that exists in the world right now, in addition to their biggest streaming service in the world, it looks like it might be tough for them to get that done, tougher than it would be to get that cleared than it might be for Paramount to do the same exact thing. But really, one of the more interesting parts of all of this has been, if Warner Brothers is sold, what happens to the DC universe? And for weeks and weeks, we've heard a lot of mumbles. We've heard a lot of rumors. Some people saying, don't worry, James Gunn's completely safe. Everybody loves what James Gunn is doing there. Don't worry, we promise it'll be fine. We've also heard a lot of other shit. A lot of other whispers that, no, it's not all fine. And if somebody else buys this company, there's certainly no guarantee that James Gunn's DC universe is the future for this company in the aftermath. There wasn't even any guarantee before they get sold, let alone after. Changes to DC Studios leadership could happen if the Ellisons buy Warner Brothers. These are the new reports that are coming out from Puck News, Matt Belloni. James, and even everything DCU, which has been a shill account since it started, James Gunn and Peter Safran may not have full control of DC Studios if Paramount buys Warner Brothers. And that is the new big thing in the news today. And certainly, this is coming at a time where it seems like there's another Zack Snyder news or Zack Snyder picture that gets posted, or somebody somewhere in the sphere talking about the possibility of Zack Snyder coming back and restoring his vision at DC if and when it gets sold. Now, talked about it before. I do quite like a lot of those movies, and I think that people are getting their hopes up a little bit. I think that the hurdles in order to do something like that, all the actors would have to come back. I think that that's a lot. And I think people may be getting their hopes up a little bit. But the truth is, the reason so many people are talking about Zack Snyder's DC Universe right now is because so many people were underwhelmed with James Gunn's Superman. Despite the media trying to convince you that it was a smash hit, despite activists in the media doing the same thing, and even trying to contradict their own publications in terms of trying to spin this movie as super profitable in theaters. Despite all the shill accounts that are out there, despite the army of fucking bots that clearly were at play when it comes to hyping this thing up, the truth is, the Superman movie was not some massive, huge fucking phenomenon. It just wasn't. It was a little disappointing for Warner Brothers in theaters. And now, when it comes to the future of DC, a lot of people would not mind if James Gunn ends up leaving. But now, here are the reports that are coming out. Paramount to limit James Gunn and Peter Safran's control of DC Studios if they buy Warner Brothers. And a lot of this, we saw Cosmic Book News, who's been on top of a lot of this stuff. I think I like some of the articles from Cosmic Book News better than others. Matt McGloin over there. Shout out to Matt McGloin. Since the confirmation that Warner Brothers Discovery was for sale, one of the most contentious elements of the story was the fate of James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Studios, as well as the new DCU film and television franchise. There have been reports from websites, assurances from studio sources, suggestive talk from Gunn himself, and the ever-present insistence that Zack Snyder's DCEU would rise from its grave and replace the burgeoning DCU. Now, word comes from Puck News indicating the truth lies somewhere in the middle of these possibilities, which is until the sale goes through and some announcements are made, is all the reports. A news story in Matt Bologna's What I'm Hearing column indicates Gunn and Safran will have less creative control in the DC universe than they do under the current Warner Brothers regime. According to Bologna, Paramount is crushing on filmmaker Zach Krieger, who just made Weapons, by the way. Paramount Pictures co-chair Josh Greenstein met with Krieger. So I think he flew to Prague or some shit just to meet with him and talk to him about a DC movie in case they end up winning the bid to get Warner Brothers. This is before they even have fucking control of it. These are the things that they're setting up right now. And they discussed an idea Krieger has for a film set in a particular corner of the DC universe. Greenstein then told Krieger he'd be more than happy to make that happen if possible. Paramount declined to comment. This is certainly the same movie Krieger's previously said that he had written. Now, look, a lot of things are in flux. A lot of things are in play. And there's even some reports that even as of now, because of the disappointing nature of what many view as the results from Superman, that you've got DeLuca and Abdi who are taking a little bit more control after some of the hits they had this year for Warner Brothers Movie Studio as opposed to DC Studios. Who knows who ends up getting it? I've said from the beginning I thought it would be Paramount. And the longer this has gone on, the more likely it seems to me that Paramount truly will be the one at the end of the day to get it. But certainly could be Netflix. Comcast seems like the third dog in this thing at this point, but who knows? I have a hard time believing that whoever buys this, something major won't happen when it comes to the DC universe. Because there will be no guarantees at the end of this. James Gunn's only under contract, I think, until 2027. I think 2027, if I believe. Maybe it might expire next year. I don't know. We've already seen plans change a lot for the DC universe from what they told us would happen to what is actually happening. And I don't think that they are happy internally with that return from Superman. And you've seen all the cope, you've seen all the spin, you've seen everything in everyone's power that they could possibly do to make it seem like they're really happy. It's almost like they're trying to sell the company to the highest bidder and get the most value out of it, which is why I would say that everything's going swimmingly as well. But the reality is when you look at those numbers and you look at the reaction since then, you see this uptick in the number of people who would rather see Zack Snyder have another shot at it than see the continuation of James Gunn's universe. Couple weeks, something's going to happen to Warner Brothers, one way or the other. It's going to be a massive shakeup, and certainly DC is going to be in the middle of all of that. But it just feels like, look, even though I didn't like James Gunn's DC universe, the idea that internally they're like, hey, let's give a little bit more fucking power to Abdi and DeLuca and stuff like this, who we just went fucking through this. And that's really been a problem at Warner Brothers for a while and with DC for a while. having someone come in there with a vision, letting them have control, and then all of a sudden someone's like, no, let's not do that. Let's change course. Let's shift up. Let's shift down. Let's turn left. Let's turn right. And it just gets so fucking muddled and it turns into no vision whatsoever. As much as I don't like James Gunn, I do think that, and I don't like his movies like for DC. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't like his DC movie that he put out. Don't like the DC content he's put out. Peacemaker was a fucking nightmarish disaster. Lost a fuck ton of audience from the first season. And it shouldn't have. It should have had a huge boost. But no, it didn't. Superman didn't help it. Strange. But I do think that if you're going to have somebody come in and you're going to give them a couple years to have their vision, you got to let them have their vision and do it before you come in and try to change everything. God Emperor Cyclist, Ryan, breaking news, Warner Brothers considering Netflix offer. Well, they're considering they're considering all three offers. They're considering all three. But I mean, I don't know. Here, let me look and see if there's any new stuff about the Netflix offer. And look, they are. One of the problems I think with that Netflix offer is it feels like there's going to be more hurdles for Netflix to close that deal. And ultimately, what's going to happen is when you do this, you open yourself up to a lot of fucking investigations. This is where I think they're coming from. Netflix is far and away, and it's not even close. They are the biggest fucking streamer by a long shot. HBO Max is the third biggest streamer out there. So the idea of the first biggest streamer buying the third biggest streamer, I think they may have a lot of trouble getting that through when it comes to fucking this merger and what that means for the rest of the market. I don't think the Disney Fox merger should have gone through personally, but that's done and gone. I think it'll be easier for the Paramount one to get done. And here's the other thing. When you do that, when you go through these fucking investigations and everything, you have to open your entire fucking company up. And some people might be more likely to do that than others. I think that Netflix would like to get part of it. They'd like to get the studio wing and they'd like to get the streamers. They don't want anything to do with the linear television shit. They don't want anything to do with all these networks and CNN and all that stuff. They don't want anything to do with that. At least I don't think they do. But Paramount is like the fifth biggest streamer and a fairly small studio, even with the Paramount Skydance merger, at least compared to some of the other ones out there. And like that's why Disney was never in the running for anything like this. One, they would have had to take on a fucking mountain of more debt, of which they already have a lot. But also, they're so big, they wouldn't have been able to buy Warner Brothers. Cole Hauser going to bring you a G.I. Joe onesie. A G.I. Joe onesie. Can't fucking wait. Sure. Sure, Cole Hauser. Tommy for 5. I'm a lesser nerd compared to Ryan, and I like when he claps me. Claps back at me. Fucking weirdo, Tommy. I don't even really think I'm that big of a nerd. Like, there's some shit that I'm like super nerdy about, but there's a lot of other stuff that a ton of nerds are into that I don't know shit about. You know, everyone's got like their space. Net Stealer, you scored 100%, bro. So just for the record, the ASVAB, when you hear that somebody scored a 99 or an 83 or a 17 or whatever, it's basically, that's not to say that you got 99 out of 100 on the test or anything. It's saying you're in the 99th percentile. And when you take tests and percentiles. That's the way it works. So they just can't let you know you scored that high. Same with my IQ test for the ASDOC when I was in prison. I aced it, but they said I didn't. So they did not have to give me minimum security. Fucktards. I didn't know you were in prison, Net Stealer. Are you Gary in secret? Skyrim the Shrimp. Consider what Paramount puts out as originals. I have a feeling Warner Brothers will either stay as woke as it is or get worse. So I don't have high hopes, people. Paramount's got some great shit on there. Paramount has some great shit. Kalecki for 5. What makes you think Warner Brothers has to sell? What if they don't like any of the offers and just decide not to sell, hypothetically? I think this has always been the plan. Like, look, this is why so many of these fucking announcements came out about new Lord of the Rings movies and about the Harry Potter series and like all this shit. It always in an effort to sell this fucking company. It seems like that's what they've wanted to happen for a while. And if they didn't sell, one, their stock price would come crashing the fuck down, because the reason it shot up was when they let themselves know that they were being sold. So a lot of people fucking got in on it. Their stock shot up because people are expecting a huge, huge fucking buyout. As for what would happen if they didn't, well, their stock price would decline significantly. Let's not get it twisted. Warner Brothers lost money last quarter. They posted like a fucking $200 million loss or something, right? So they're a company that has a mountain of fucking debt. I think they have $45 billion in debt or something. And what would happen was they would continue off with the split as they suggested, this idea of Warner Brothers being its own thing again and Discovery kind of becoming its own thing again, or whatever they were doing, right? Because they merge and now they're looking to split. They would continue doing that. They would attempt to separate the good money from the bad and the good things from the bad and saddle a lot of the debt probably with like the linear television shit and make some effort to fucking go bankrupt at some time and maybe get out of paying a lot of that debt. That's probably what you would see. But I believe they will sell. They don't have to. Joshua Henderson, to be fair, I like Peacemaker Season 1 and James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I enjoyed James Gunn's Suicide Squad too. I think that's where he thrives. I really like James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I don't think he should be doing a Superman movie. I think that's pretty clear. Peacemaker Season 1, I didn't love. I hated 2, though. Ryan Charlton for 2 says, I am Groot. Thanks, Ryan. Black Kane for 5. Any entertainment company with available capital basically has to make an offer because of fiduciary responsibilities to shareholders. Available capital basically has to make an offer. I mean, kind of. I mean, some of it depends, I think. But like I said, Disney just can't. Like Disney would have no chance. But yeah, I don't fucking know. SCDB for 2. Hoo-yah, Ryan, hoo-yah. And I thought hoo-ah was dumb. Well, I think it's kind of stupid too. It all feels a little bit dumb at the time, but then you sometimes it feels cool. 99% of the time it feels fucking dumb. I think you know that. Ned Steeler for 2. I was in summer camp compared to Lompoc, 1979. Um, 1979. You're fucking old, Net Stealer. Net Stealer sent me this awesome shit. Where is it? Where's my coin? I want to show you my coin. Look at at that. Soldier Field, NFL 75th anniversary, Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, number 1 seed in the NFC, by the way. Number 1 seed. Where are those droidicas? Says Maximus. I know, right? Joshua, when it comes to DC for me, animation is top tier compared to the rarity of live action. Half the time, live action is shit with some exceptions. Look, I think that DC animation went on like a 5 or 6 year run that was fucking goated. More recently, I think they've been very, very hit or miss. But there was a period there where the animated shit that were coming out was fucking fire. Not gonna lie. Like those movies were awesome. Net Stealer, LMAO, the body's old, the mind of a teenager. Well, it is Net Stealer 69, so that does make sense. Mind of a teenager. You thought I was from Tampa? I mean, I've spent like a couple days in Tampa. I only live 2 hours from Tampa. I live in Orlando, but I'm from Indiana. I do have a Tampa Bay jersey. Chupacabra. Been streaming, bro. A lot of fun. I'm not sure what I can and can't say, though. One of my streams got age restricted when I rage, though. Kind of a toss-up. I mean, like, you can't say the N-word. You can't say the F-word. I don't know. Got to tiptoe around some stuff, but there's really no opinions. There's really no opinions that I have that I can't find a way to state. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I mean, you miss living in your hometown? There's like 15 inches of snow where I grew up right now. Or at least there was as of a day or two ago. 15 inches. That's a lot. That's a lot. I can say the N-word, someone says. Well, look, I could say it. I just probably wouldn't be good for monetization or for the future of my channel. I'll leave that for my private life. Darth Ghostface is stream on Rumble. Instead, they support free speech. Look, I've been streaming. Look, I've been streaming on Rumble before any of y'all motherfuckers knew about Rumble. Before anybody that's getting big deals here, big deals there, got fucking big. I've been streaming Rumble for fucking ever. Okay. And I have amassed in those like 5 fucking years before anyone was streaming on Rumble, I've amassed a total of 12,000 followers. And that's great. And that's awesome. And I'll keep streaming on Rumble. And I appreciate the people who want to support me there on Rumble. But unless you're getting a deal from them, it's not sustainable. If you're doing what I'm doing, you know? And I like being over on Rumble because it is an alternative. And if I ever get taken down, I won't. But if anything ever happened, I could go over to Rumble. But it's just it's not the same type of discoverability, not the same type of platform. It's just not. So, but like I said, for the people that will enjoy watching me over there and want an alternative to watch, I will continue streaming over on Rumble, even if it's only to 50 to 100 people. Even if it's only 50 or 100 people. Y'all stream on Facebook? I sometimes do. Nobody watches over there. But, for people that are over there, those are usually my Sunday streams. Chupacabra, okay, no more F-slur. Got it, man. Thanks. Yeah, typically probably not on YouTube. Typically, probably not. But there are other ways you can find creative insults. You know, other ways you can find creative insults. But I hope that Rumble continues to look. Rumble is way better now than it was when I first joined, for sure. It's not even close in terms of the UI and the progress they've made. And I know they are actively working on better algorithms and stuff like that for better discoverability. That's what makes YouTube uh the king in every way, in terms of the user base, in terms of the type of content you get, because their algorithm's really good, their discoverability is really good. Every fucking day I come across videos of shit that I'm interested in from creators that I've never heard of, and from creators that have like no following. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like a random Game of Thrones theory video from somebody, from like it'll be a video that has like 1.8 thousand views from somebody with 300 subscribers. You know, every day I come across that shit. So, yeah. We have a queer in the chat. Well, we've had a lot of queers in the chat today. You've had a lot of queers in the chat today. That's what happened. Look, when you get to making fun of Marvel, making fun of DC, you get a lot of fucking queers out there. Look, when it comes to Marvel, the only audience left are the fucking queers and the women. That's it. That's the audience they fucking wanted. That's the one that they got. That's the one that they got. You're in the Navy. I've said it before. Despite the reports about the Navy, I saw way more lesbians when I was in the Navy than I saw gay dudes, which is stunning, because I think when I was in the military, around the time I got out, we probably had like 18 or 19% females in the Navy. So far less women in the Navy in general. But I'm telling you, I saw way more lesbians than I saw gays. Had a handful of gays. A handful. David Lightbringer is a good Game of Thrones theorist. David Lightbringer is really interesting. I think he comes up with some really interesting shit. Do I think that all of them are like super rooted in a ton of real, like, 100% this is happening? I think he's way more expansive in what he considers to be a possibility and than some of us. But it is very interesting. It is very interesting. It's weird when the queer is it's not just the one streaming. Well, I'm pretty sure Jeremy's live too, so there's room for you over there too. There is room. All right. Let's talk about Star Wars a little bit. Ryan, go play some golf. I do need to play some golf. I haven't played in a while. And now that it's not so fucking hot, it'll be really nice to play. Jesse, Ryan, you playing Mario Kart later? Probably not, Jesse. There's something we got going on tomorrow after daily that I will be taking part of. And I don't know if anyone said anything about that. I'm not sure if anyone said anything about that, but hey, not sure. But maybe I need to get back out there with Jay. It's been a while since I've been out golfing with Jay. All right, let's talk about Star Wars a little bit, specifically about Ahsoka. Just like we saw with nearly every Disney Star Wars project over the last several years, when the first season of Ahsoka came out, we saw so many of the people in the media praise Lucasfilm, praise Dave Filoni. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so incredible. This is amazing. The next best thing from Star Wars. And once again, it was a enormous disappointment for Disney and Lucasfilm. Not only did this season cost a fair amount of money, but it also disappointed when it came to the ratings. When it came to Ahsoka's ratings, despite them trying to get ahead and say, oh my gosh, it's the biggest thing that's ever premiered on this day for this streaming service in the history of Star Wars, it wasn't impressive. Ahsoka viewership was rather disappointing for them, as was eventually revealed by the Nielsen ratings. Ahsoka suffers weak finale viewership. Will season 2 even happen? Well, it is happening because it's Dave Filoni's baby. Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's wet dream, which is why it's so fucking depressing and disgusting if you actually like good writing or good stories. Because Dave Filoni is a hack and always has been a hack. And finally, people are seeing that for what he truly is. But when it comes to season 2 of Ahsoka, maybe things are different this time around. Not that I mean it's going to be a good story. It won't be. It's Dave Filoni. But maybe they weren't willing to pour quite as much money into this season after such a disappointing season 1. The reason I say this is because evidently we had a little bit of a pay dispute to bring somebody back to the show. Star Wars actor quits Ahsoka season 2 over pay dispute. Now, the person in question, Claudia Black, who played one of the Night Sisters, which, as an aside, I know maybe not a lot of people watching this are going to care. What we saw happen to the Dathomiri witches and the Night Sisters in general and all this stuff in Clone Wars, despicable. Absolutely disgusting. It sucks how Dave Filoni constantly bastardizes everything and turns out a worse product, but that's just what we see. Same thing that's happened over and over again with anything Dave Filoni's involved with. But that's an aside. Claudia Black will not return for Ahsoka season 2 over pay dispute. Deadline is confirmed that actress Claudia Black won't return for Ahsoka season 2. While promoting the new series Spartacus, House of Asher, Black was at, which also looks like it's going to be really cringe, by the way. Black was asked about the second season of the Disney Plus Star Wars series and said that while the show is renewed for another season and she was invited back, she won't be appearing. In Ahsoka season 1, Black played Clotho, one of the 3 mysterious Night Sisters who were aligned with villainous Grand Admiral Thrawn on Peridea. Check out her explanation at Deadline here. Here's the quote. And yes, it is Claudia Black from Stargate, by the way, if people were interested. Obviously, pretty easy to recast when this is the type of makeup you're wearing in general. Well, I'm going to be transparent. They picked up season 2, picked me up with it. And then Disney, which is structuring things differently these days, could not pay me what I needed to be paid as a single mother to keep all my responsibilities going at home in Los Angeles because they were filming in London. It was not something they could make happen, and therefore I had to bow out for season 2, which was very sad for me. She talks a little bit about the show, talks about how her son, who likes Clone Wars, which is very unfortunate for him, was excited because she was in the show, said, was very sad to not be able to continue at the end of the day. They call it show business for a reason. It's like 90% business, 10% show. They could not, sadly, support a single mother, and I'm very sad about that. But I also understand market forces being what they are and the very delicate time in the business to even be able to afford to make anything at all. We all had to do our sums and move on. Now, what I think is the most interesting part of this entire quote is not that, a pretty minor character is not returning for season 2. What I think is interesting is how she phrases it about Disney and about the time in show business right now, right? Disney, which structures things differently these days, could not pay me what I needed to be paid. So what is the difference between what she was offered for the first season and the second season? And Disney, who's structuring things differently at a time where it's so hard to get anything made, does that mean that they realize they can't pour as much money into season 2 of Ahsoka as they did to season 1? Are they recalibrating because of the fucking failures? One, that would be a good thing for them at a business level. But it would also be indicative of exactly what anyone with a fucking brain has been saying this entire time. With what they're putting into these shows, they are not getting the outcome that they need to have. They're not getting the return on their investment that they need to have. And so now for season 2 of a show, which usually the numbers go up. The numbers go up for these people if it gets picked up for a second season. For all actors involved to come back and do another one. That's usually how it happens. Clearly not the case when it comes to Ahsoka season 2. And personally, I think that this show would have gone the way of The Acolyte if it wasn't Dave Filoni in charge. But because Dave Filoni has so much power at Lucasfilm and has for years, as I've documented on my channel for years, this is his baby. There was no way he wasn't going to get a season 2 of his Princess Ahsoka, the person who has become, for all intents and purposes, the most important fucking character in Disney Star Wars. That is Ahsoka. The same Ahsoka Tano who George said that she would die during Order 66, that she would not make it past Order 66, that was the intent, was for that character to die. Dave Filoni did whatever the fuck he wanted, just like he's always done, regardless of whether it contradicts the books, the movies, George Lucas himself, anything. Dave Filoni will contradict it anytime he fucking wants. And so now he's got his wet dream, his pet project, his little fucking Princess Ahsoka that he shoves into everything and everywhere and will never let this bitch fucking die. That is now the most important character at the heart of Disney Star Wars. Congratulations, all you people that wanted Dave Filoni to have more things to do, wanted Dave Filoni to have more power. You got suckered. You're fucking retarded. You asked for that. Now here we are, and Disney Star Wars has never been at a worse place. But it looks like they might be being forced to tighten the purse strings a little bit to make Ahsoka season 2 even happen. Ryan, video mode is great. Oh, thank you. Does she time travel yet? Well, I mean, she already has. She already has. Wow, nothing gets me mad quite like Dave Filoni. Ahsoka's just as bad as Rey. Worse because of how much shit she's been in, how much shit she's fucked up. Ryan, if we pay to get you drunk, will you sing? I probably won't sing a ton. Probably won't sing a ton, even if I am drunk. Ryan, would you bang Claudia Black? But you have to yell, "I love blacks" while doing the deed. I don't think so. I don't think so. Drink some water. Yeah, I probably do need to drink more water. I feel bad for liking Ahsoka someone in Clone Wars. Well, look, despite how much I hate the fucking character and I hate Clone Wars, you shouldn't feel bad for liking something, even if a bunch of other people don't. Unless you truly do have like some sort of like, if you hear a bunch of people point out a bunch of shit wrong with it and you recognize what's wrong with it, but you still like it anyway, or you just don't agree with it, you shouldn't feel bad about it. Maybe a little embarrassed, but you shouldn't feel bad. Be like Shad. Look, sometimes I think Shad has the dumbest fucking takes in the world, but I respect his ability to not to just say what he actually fucking thinks about shit. Not everybody in the space is like that. Not everybody in the space, like, there's some people who will be scared to say something if they think that the audience won't agree with them. Chad doesn't do that, which I can respect. Richard Dower for 2 says sing fun. Thanks, Richard. The Raging Cajun with a super sticker. I didn't even see it. What's the super sticker? It's a poop emoji. Thank you. Must be for Disney Star Wars. Mike Hill, apparently an OnlyFans model, has made more money than LeBron James. But that's probably true. I guess I wouldn't be than LeBron James has made in the NBA. I don't know if any OnlyFans person has made more money than LeBron James when you factor in all the different advertisement deals and shoe deals and shit. You know, I don't know if that's the case. I would be surprised if that was the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was NBA contract exclusively. The thing about OnlyFans that is, to me, incredibly fucking disturbing, because look, I think if you do OnlyFans content, you are selling your soul. You know, I really do. Truly, from my heart, I feel like if you're selling your fucking pussy and your asshole and shit like that to strangers on the internet for money, I feel like you are losing part of your soul. I feel like you're selling your soul. And you know what? For enough money, maybe you can justify selling your soul. For fucking $900 million, maybe you can sell your soul and feel okay about it. But the things we see like this, where it's like, oh, this OnlyFans girl made more money than LeBron James, that's very few and far between. You know what, like, the average person on OnlyFans makes? The average person on OnlyFans makes less than $100 a month. So when you think about that, and you think about all of the people that are making effectively nothing, right? Who are selling off a piece of themselves, who are damaging their fucking soul, like participating in this shit. Just think about that. Because yes, we know these people that make millions of dollars a fucking month, millions of dollars, whatever, all these fucking whores that do that shit. Think of the amount of people it requires to be making nothing to make the average be around like $100 a month. That's the disturbing thing, because I think a lot of people get into it thinking that they're going to be one of those people. They're going to make millions and millions, and instead they rip a piece of themselves out. They rip their soul apart in a way that I don't know if you can ever truly recover from, and they get nothing for it. They get nothing for it. And we can make fun of it and we can laugh at it and shit, but it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. So, I mean, with that being said, I'd be willing to maybe eternally damage my soul for $1 billion. Just in case anybody's thinking about offering me that, I would do it. Just saying. Just saying. $1 billion? It's a lot of fucking money, bro. Have decency? Maybe. So yeah, that's always like one of the, because I don't think most people know that. I don't think most people are aware of that the vast majority of people that are on there don't make anything. Yet they're still, they're putting themselves through something that I think is rather disgusting. Ryan, I'd sub to your OnlyFans. Says Ryan, I'd sub to your OnlyFans $99 or $9.99 a month. See, that's not enough. It's not enough for me. If I was gonna make an OnlyFans, I couldn't be one of those fucking $150 a month people. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So just asking how many do well on YouTube. Very few. Very similar. Like, I think I read somewhere that if you like, let's see, what is the average view for a YouTube video? I don't know if I'm gonna get a good thing. So listen to this. The average view count for a YouTube video is around 5,594. Though this can vary significantly depending on the source and study. However, most videos get far fewer views, with the median being much lower. So for all these Mr. Beast videos that get hundreds of millions of views and like all this shit, or music videos or whatever, the median, not the average, the median. So when you line up every fucking video next to each other from the highest viewed video to the lowest viewed, and you go directly to the fucking middle, right? 35. That's the median. 35 fucking views. So it really kind of puts it in perspective, and why I feel obviously very grateful and lucky, because it's not, it's a rarity. People think that you can just start a fucking channel and take off, and like it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. And I always tell people to, go for it if you feel like you should or you want to, and I'll give you some advice on how to start your channel if you want, but like, it's not easy. It's very rare. Most people are not going to be able to make a living doing it. Josh, bro, Ryan, you're an all right dude. You have the N pass, brother, although I highly doubt you ever needed it. I don't usually. I'm not going to use it on YouTube, but I don't need it. Thanks, Josh. Blue-eyed Scorpio, for you, my monthly view count is only the daily median. The Blue-eyed Scorpio been grinding away, bro. Blue-eyed Scorpio been grinding away. Fantastic, Mr. Knox. You should know someone who did OnlyFans. Had her account for a while, but realized two things. Didn't make much, and you need to be a stunner to do decent. And two, people she knew saw she had one, and she nuked her account. I think I don't look. I've never fucking been on OnlyFans. I know very few like creators who are on there, other than the same ones you guys see that like go viral because somebody reports they make a bunch of fucking money. So I don't know what goes into it. I think part of it's just fucking luck and getting discovered, or having a fucking post go viral, having a post where you put your fucking tits and ass out on the internet go fucking viral. I think that's just part of it. I don't know. Joshua Henderson, is it wrong to like TCW? George approved it as canon. No, I don't think it's wrong. Look, just because I don't like something doesn't mean that I think you're wrong if you like it. I might have my reasons why I don't think you should, or why I don't, or all of this stuff, but you're free to like whatever you like. Arcus for the whiskey or liquor of choice fund. Cheers. Thank you, Arcus. I need more bullet bourbon or Angel's Envy. Is that a request I've had from some people? Angel's Envy. That might be the next. Might be the next one I get. Might be the next one I get. Cole Hauser. Ryan can always call me a Rigga. He's my boy. Didn't I fucking, I think I called you that last time you were here, right? At the meetup? I think I did, Cole Hauser. Maybe I'm misremembering. I might have been pretty drunk. I wanted to talk about Stranger Things for a second. I had to talk about Stranger Things. Had to talk about Stranger Things. Maybe should we get into this? We should get into this fucking argument as well. I don't think I'm going to clip this out. This is just for me, for my own gratification. That's really why I'm doing this. That's really why I'm doing this. Some of you may remember, the people who watch Geeks and Gamers daily, if you are watching a little over a month ago, before Stranger Things Season 5 came out, we started to hear rumors that maybe they were going to do a small theatrical run for the finale. You may remember a clip from that live stream where Beardo and Steph and Jeremy were on there talking about Stranger Things, and some people started saying some shit that I did not agree with. Now, whether you like or don't like Stranger Things, I think it's important to keep perspective of how many people out there were interested in the finale, even though that this season is 3 years removed from season 4, that the final season of Stranger Things was going to be pretty fucking big. And got into a big argument. A lot of people, especially in the comments, in the live stream, they thought I was ridiculous. They thought I was going to be wrong because I said that Stranger Things season 5, regardless of whether you're excited for it or not, in the grand scheme of things, with so many people that have been waiting for this, it's going to be one of the biggest things that Netflix has ever seen. And the theatrical run, the small theatrical run that they were going to do was going to be a huge success. That it was absolutely going to get people out of their rooms, out of their living rooms, out of their bedrooms, whatever, to see the finale of Stranger Things at the same time as everyone else is watching it for a small theatrical release. And maybe I'll play a little bit of this in a second. But here we are in the aftermath of the release of season 5 of Stranger Things, which I thought was okay. I thought it was on the same level as like a season 3. I don't think it's as good as season 4 yet. Has the possibility to be. I'm not going to get into spoilers or any of that stuff, but season 5, okay so far, has the possibility to still be a really fucking good finale. But look at these results. Stranger Things 5 is the #1 show in the world with 59.6 million views. So this is from when it came out to Sunday, basically. With 59.6 million views, it also boasts the biggest premiere week ever for an English language show in the history of Netflix. So what that means is, with the exception of Squid Game, it is the biggest premiere ever. Bigger than Wednesday, which is the biggest English show thing they've ever had. Bigger than anything, with the exception of Squid Game, when it comes to shows. K-pop Demon Hunters, I think, would fall in a different category because that's a movie, obviously, instead of a show. But if you look at the most popular shows of all time, this takes in views over the first 91 days that a full season has been released. Wednesday, Adolescence, Stranger Things 4 is right there as well when it looks at the most popular shows in the history of Netflix. Right now, Stranger Things season 5 is on pace not only to crush season 4, but also potentially to beat Wednesday when it's all said and done, to make it the top. And if you want to talk about the theatrical release, eventually that rumor did get confirmed. That rumor got confirmed that they would have theatrical releases. And not only is it going to be in 500 theaters nationwide and in Canada, but also Netflix isn't going to take a dime from it. All the proceeds, right? Theaters will sell concession vouchers rather than tickets, with exhibitors keeping all revenue from the screenings. Basically just a thing for people that are fans to go out and see and to give the theaters like a bump. Like, that's what this is. Well, just as I said would happen, here we are. Stranger Things 5 finale tickets sell out within minutes. Disappointed fans demand additional shows. Stranger Things theater finale chaos as seats sell out in hours, leaving Netflix fans fuming. Yes, some people it was minutes. In some other locations around the United States, a few hours maybe you had, and that was it. It was done. You missed your fucking chance. So for people that thought there's no way people would come out to a theater, you couldn't have been more wrong. In fact, they got pressured so much. Initially, all they put out, this is here in Orlando, was the 8 p.m. and the 9 p.m. That was it. Just within the last few hours, they've added different ones. And I can barely get into them at times. Here's the one they just put out for 8:15, a new showing. That's essentially entirely sold out except for the fucking front row. Let's see if we can go to 8 p.m. Maybe a handicap seat. Yeah, one handicap seat in this theater that's left. All right, what about 9 p.m.? 2 handicap seats that are left. Right? And so these are just getting added now. And there's so many people trying to get them. I keep getting fucking kicked from the app. That's where it's at. The demand is incredibly high. And regardless of whether you like Stranger Things, you don't care about Stranger Things, you love this season so far, you hate this fucking season, I think that if anybody thought that, well, it's been 3 years or the kids are too old or whatever, I just think that sometimes we can be in our own little bubbles and maybe not have a good idea of what people are interested outside of that. And this was just straight up one of those fucking cases. When it comes to Stranger Things, I think undeniably, this is one of those cases where some people just didn't think that a lot of people were hyped. When the reality was, it's fucking huge. It's fucking huge. And for perspective, that finale is going to come out on New Year's. And it's going to, at 8 p.m. is the same time that it's going to launch on Netflix. The finale that they're releasing just as one individual episode. We got a couple more episodes that drop on Christmas and then the finale on New Year's. And they're basically selling out very, very quickly. So clearly a lot of demand for this. Everyone wants them to stick the landing so far. I don't think season 5 has been up to the same level as season 4. Hopefully it can get there by the end. Hopefully they stick the landing, obviously. But when it comes to fucking Stranger Things, if anybody thought that it's taken too long or the kids are too old, no one's going to care, no one's going to watch. Clearly, a lot of people care and a lot of fucking people watched more than anything else, more than any other English language show in the history of Netflix. And should we listen to some of this? I just want a reminder for everybody as to what this fucking argument was like. And I showed up here. We're going to skip through this a little bit because I was not part of this daily discussion. Okay? I was not part of the daily discussion. And that was nice. It was my day off. But this is what we heard.
It's not something that does well at theaters unless it's something that is like a niche thing, like a sing-along of K-pop Demon Hunters. People will go to that. They'll make like a day of it. They'll dress up. It's like a thing. You know, this wouldn't be that. It's a continuation of a story that you can watch at home.
Agreed. I just don't see the appeal.
Because it's in its 5th season, people are comfortable with watching it at home. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
To see it in theaters, you have to be caught up because they're just showing the finale. That's why I said, like, if you're going to do this, make it an all-day event where you show the entire season and then the finale. But to go to it and to buy tickets, you have to be caught up. And a lot of people, they don't binge these shows like we do. The regular people with regular jobs, 9 to 5, 8 to 5 jobs, and they watch the show in their leisure when they have time to do it. So there's going to be a short period of time where they're showing the finale in theaters. Not everybody's going to be caught up for it.
Ryan says this is going to be relatively big in theaters and a fucking massive on Netflix. Y'all retards. Well, first of all, no one said it wasn't going to be massive on Netflix, Mister. You didn't start watching the fucking show until I forced you to. After it was way past its prime. Ryan gets a.
Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan at in the chat? Why is he not on here?
It took him like 4 fucking years to watch this fucking show, and now he's going to put him typical bandwagon.
I'm going to
fucking bandwagon.
I'm going to fundamentally disagree with Ryan here. This is going to do terrible
on Netflix.
No, in the theaters. The theaters finale thing is, dude. People don't care about Stranger Things anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man.
That was the moment I'm like, I have to fucking join. Because I already talked to Beardo. I already gave Beardo shit for it, so you guys don't need to give him shit about it. I already gave him shit about it today on his stream. But that was the moment where I had to come up because Stranger Things season 4 was the biggest season, right? Like that was the most popular season in terms of viewership. So yes, we're 3 years removed from that, but it really, I mean, it got it. Like people fucking loved that season in general. And so the idea that it's not big anymore, it hasn't been big since season 1, that's just not true, right? And you're seeing that now. You're seeing that demand now.
And I disagree with that completely. You're retarded.
People don't fucking care. People don't fucking care. People have checked out, dude. People are done. You're done with Stranger Things.
You are retarded, okay? Number one, you have an argument because it's the finale, so it's like you have to be completely invested. And I think most people are just going to want to watch
People's
it at
interest
home.
is gone.
Don't tell me
it's
Stranger Things is
too fucking long.
Dude,
just because you're watching it now, and you have recency bias because you're running through the first
season
fucking
4 was
season
amazing,
now.
Motherfucker.
That doesn't matter, dude. The season 4 came out 3 fucking years ago. You're watching it now, and there he is. Okay. You're watching it now. You have recency bias, Jeremy. You're watching it now. Season 4 was 3 fucking years
ago.
Season 4 was
fucking massive, dude.
Yeah. Season 4 was fucking massive. It is like the popular, like I almost said a gamer word because I was not like stream ready. It is the huge like popular contrary take right now to be like, I don't care about it. The kids look old now. The kids are like 21
I don't
years
think
old.
that's like. I don't think that's this some like hot contrary take.
But look, the idea to address what you said, because I don't even know why I clicked on this. I never watched this fucking show, and I'm not on. This show's enough to drain on my life when I have to fucking be here, let alone when I don't have to be here.
Damn.
But like the argument that you made, Beardo, I think it's important to understand how they're releasing this series. They're releasing a handful of episodes on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think they're releasing 2 more episodes on Christmas.
When everyone's watching football.
I was wrong about that. 4 on Thanksgiving, 3 on Christmas, and then the finale. So I can say what I was wrong. Stop. Like, as if between Thanksgiving and Christmas, people aren't going to have time to watch Stranger Things. Then they're releasing a few more episodes on Christmas, and then the finale is releasing a week later on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve or whatever the fuck it is. So the idea that people aren't going to be caught up on it is retarded. That like it's actually specifically structured so that everyone will be watching the finale at the same time, which is I think
what's the date? What's the date for the theater release?
Really good, like what they're doing.
It said it in here. Or the release on New Year's Eve, right here. So industry insider Matt Maloney claims that Netflix is now in active talks with AMC theaters and other major chains to debut the 2-hour Stranger Things finale on New Year's Eve.
Just to put it in perspective, this conversation really fucking pissed me off. Not just because of the conversation here, but because of the fucking chat, they pissed me off. The comments on this fucking video pissed me off because I knew I was going to be right. Not everybody wanted to believe it.
Eve 2025, the same day it releases on Netflix. So, but you are completely out of your fucking mind if you think Stranger Things isn't massive. It's fucking massive.
It is going. I don't know if it'll be the same globally as what we just saw from K-pop Demon Hunters, but it's very different because we're talking about one movie that's like 90 minutes versus season and watch time and shit like that. Stranger Things season 5, despite and look, I had a very contrary take to this thing before I did. I was like, everybody's talking about it. I don't want to watch it. And then I finally did and I loved it. But it is going to be one of the biggest events that Netflix has ever seen, fucking period. I don't care how many fucking queers go out there and be like, Millie Bobby Brown looks 40. She looks 40 now. And she's like 22 years old. Like,
no, she's hot.
She's throughout the entire course of human history and entertainment, like people who are in their early 20s portraying people in high school. Like, come the fuck on. I just want to see Will Byers die. That's what I really want to see with this thing. And so I said it's going to be one of the biggest things we've seen, and sure as shit, it is one of the biggest things that we've ever seen. There was one more funny part, I think, here when it came to the theater stuff. Because that's what Jeremy and I were disagreeing on. And I told him, like, it's not going to be 4,000 theaters. There's going to be a small handful of fucking theaters. It's going to be a limited theatrical showing, and it's going to fucking sell out. Where is it? Here it is. Stuff or whatever.
He's had a few takes that have been confirmed. So
unless everybody,
big L for Ryan here, says Glenn Jones. I'm just telling you, like, y'all are fucking retarded if you think that this isn't going to be huge. Like,
I guess I'm retarded because unless everybody is doing the same thing that Jeremy and Ryan are doing with rewatching the entire series to prepare for it,
dude,
I'm not even doing that right now. By the way, just for the record, that's not something that I did. But when it comes to Stranger Things, when it comes to the record-breaking premiere, not only is it the biggest English-speaking premiere they've ever fucking seen, ever, all the other seasons of Stranger Things were in the top 10 for Netflix, right? Look at this. The first season was at number 3 with 9 million views. Season 4 was at 5 with 6 million views. Season 2 was at number 6 with 5.6 million views. And season 3, number 8 with 4.8 million views. So a lot of people were fucking rewatching. For the first time in history, a show had 5, if you count this one, 5 things in the fucking top 10 in the same week. Absolutely insane, by the way.
Jeremy just said you did.
I said he was a late bloomer to the series.
Yeah, why did you fucking listen, Beardo? Why did you open your fucking ears?
Jeremy said you just now watched it for the first time.
I said he's a late bloomer.
2 years ago, by the way.
Yeah, I said he's a late bloomer.
Yeah,
I didn't say he just started watching it. I said
That's what
I'm
you
rewatching
said, Jeremy.
it.
So
No,
unless
it's
everybody's
not.
doing what Jeremy's doing right now and rewatching the entire fucking series right now in preparation for this, I don't think so. People are going to watch this in their free time. They're going to watch it in their leisure, and they're not going to give a fuck to go to the theaters to watch it.
Releases, bro. Like you have no idea how
Dude,
big
nobody fucking cares
release
about Stranger
completely.
Things
Like,
anymore.
you don't even know that it was going to get staggered release.
wave
That's why
is
I'm saying that
over.
argument holds no water. I agree with you, Beardo, that if the case was, let me play into your fucking retarded hypothetical that doesn't exist. if the hypothetical was they released the entire fucking season on New Year's Day and they happen to release the finale in theaters, you're 100% right. That wouldn't make any sense. But they're releasing about half the season Thanksgiving, holiday times, and people are gonna hop on it that weekend and watch the fuck out of it that weekend, right? And then sure, some might catch up and maybe parcel out a couple, and then Christmas will be for the next drop a month later while it's still in people's minds. I think 2 episodes drop on Christmas, and then a week later when they've set everything up for the finale drops on New Year's. So I think it actually sets up perfectly for an event like this.
Is the finale dropping both in theaters and on Netflix?
Yeah,
it
same
is.
time.
Okay.
Based on the rumor, again, not confirmed yet, but based on the rumor that's out there. So again, I'm very much on the fence on the whole, like how big it will be in theaters. Because I think there's a discussion to be had there. There's no discussion to be had of how big Stranger Things is. Stranger Things is fucking massive.
Not anymore.
Dude, you are fucking stupid.
Not anymore, man.
Dude,
stupid. The wave is gone, dude.
You are
the wave
stupid.
is gone.
You're
dude,
insane,
nobody's
dude.
invested anymore.
Yes,
nobody is invested into Stranger Things
I've
anymore.
seen this take from a handful of people or whatever, and it's like it gives me like vibes from when I was sitting here telling everybody how massive Barbie was going to be, like, and nobody fucking wanted to hear it. Nobody was believe, like, whatever. Like, you remember this, Jeremy.
I remember.
You remember these fights I was having about that. And sometimes I think people in our space can have a, like, because we all watch each other's shit, we talk about this, and we're interested generally in the same stuff. I feel like sometimes we maybe don't have the perspective of, like, a normie audience and a grand scheme audience and stuff like that. I think that Stranger Things is going to be huge.
It's going to.
I think people are going to be going to the theater to see Avatar instead of Stranger Things. That's what I think.
I do think that Avatar, historically like the biggest theatrical fucking thing in the history of mankind, will perform better at the theaters than Stranger Things will.
No, people are going to see that movie on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, whenever this is.
That's not even your argument. Your argument is Stranger Things in general has no following anymore, and that's insane.
That's not what I said. I said the wave is over. The hardcore fans are still going to be interested in this, but are they going to go to the fucking theaters to see it? I just don't see it happening. People are going to stay at home and fucking watch it for free. They're not going to go out and spend an extra $60
to pump up the fucking numbers.
They're not going to go to theaters to spend $60 fucking dollars to bring their entire family to watch a last episode that they can sit on their couch with their Netflix subscription that they already pay for.
That's why I think that this is going to be an event type.
Yeah, so that's really all you guys need to see. I couldn't let this go. This has been bothering me for a month, to the point where I had to come on a show that I wasn't supposed to be on that day and fucking argue, to the point where I had to fucking argue with people in the comments of this and the fucking live stream, because you know what? At the end of the day, as long as I'm patient, I will always be right. And when it comes to this, pretty much exactly how I laid out is what it's happened. It's one of the biggest things that Netflix has ever seen in history. It is the biggest season of Stranger Things. And when it comes to the theaters, as soon as they fucking released the tickets, within minutes, people were bitching because they couldn't get in. They're adding more showings now. They're all fucking selling out because it has been a decade and it's been a little while since the last one. But clearly people are very invested in how it finishes. I'm very invested in how it finishes. And I hope and pray that they stick the landing. It's not really what this video is about, whether they're going to stick the landing or not. It was just about the poll and the performance so far of Stranger Things Season 5. And again, Beardo already, I talked to him about it today. I trolled him when he was live. He said that he actually went back and rewatched it and he was hyped as fuck. And he was hyped as fuck for it and thought it's going to do really well. So his mind has been changed after we had that argument. So you don't need to shit on him for it. You don't need to shit on him for it. But just wanted to point out that I was right. I was right. Just saying. PK Rasian Wolf. Why couldn't Star Wars 7 already establish EU Grey Jedi Order? The Grey Jedi thing is stupid. I hate the Grey Jedi shit. Okay. People just use that term as somebody who is attuned to the light side or who follows like the light side of the Force, but they don't like to operate within the structure of the Jedi Order. That's all fucking most people mean when they mean Grey Jedi. Unless you mean somebody who's using both light and dark, which is fucking stupid. It's not a fucking video game. And Luke marries a female Jedi with their kid Rey. Rey and Ben being cousins, being Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Finn relative to Mace Windu. Well, you really lost me when it. You really lost me when it came to other stuff, but they could have done anything different, or it probably would have been better. PK. Hi, Kira. Ryan is more level-headed than Jeremy. More passionate than Jay. Better public speaker than Beardo. And blacker than Mike, the best G&G member. Hey, maybe. Thank you, hi, Kira. Fantastic, Mr. Knox. Remember when Clone Wars was released in theaters? I do. Unfortunately, I do. Jose Contreras says, will Avatar make 1.5 billion over on Rumble? Are you going to go watch it with Jay? I don't know if I'm going to go watch it with Jay or not. What was my guess? Like 1.7 or something? 1.7 billion for Avatar? I think that's my guess. Who fucking knows? Who knows? Over on Streamlabs, for $3, I don't know why that chick still has nosebleeds when she uses her telekinesis. It's season 5. Shouldn't her powers master by this point? Look, I don't think that's something that ever goes away. I don't think the nosebleed thing is ever something that goes away. What I would like is have them to introduce that it like it actually takes a fucking toll on your body in some way. Like say if you use these powers for 20 years, maybe you die or something. You know? I don't know. Jariah Lama, no comment. Well, no comment. Thanks for the $2, though. I appreciate it. And I think with that, we're all caught up. I am going to send you guys over to the Geeks and Gamers Play stream. The Geeks and Gamers Play stream. Where is it? Let's go to the studio. And like I said, Beardo has already apologized for that, so you guys don't need to give him too much shit. Jeremy hasn't said anything, though. Jeremy said he didn't think it was going to do anything in theaters. You can give Jeremy shit over it. Jeremy was half right in that argument. Jeremy was half right in that argument. All right, customization. Let's find the redirect. No live or upcoming. I don't believe you. Why do I always have to refresh you when I do this? You piece of shit. Gigantic pile of trash. Here we go. Mario Kart World new update. I don't even know what the new update is. But that's where we're sending you. Are you currently wearing the same shirt? I think the shirt I was wearing before was just one of my plain black ones. This one has a little logo on it. To be fair, I have about 20 plain black Patriot Crew shirts that I wear. Like 90% of the time you see me, I'm probably wearing one of those shirts. It's just really easy and simple. It goes with everything. I'm not much of a fashionista, you know. I hope they kill off Robin's character in Stranger Things because I'm sick of Robin. I've been sick of that character since season 3. I was talking to someone the other day who very much convinced me that Robin's going to die in the next episode. And I think they might be right. I think that might be why we got so much Robin screen time early on. I think she might die. Next episode's called Shock Jock. So, you know. All right. That is it for us. I appreciate you guys hanging out for so long. Thank you very much. I'm going to send you over to the play stream. By the way, I'll plug it again. If you need a new PC, go check out Meta PCs. Link is in the description. Use code RK Outpost to get a discount. Helps you out. helps me out, and of course helps out Meta PC. That's about it, guys. Thank you. You guys are cool. You guys are chill. Except some of you queers in the chat that hate me. You can go fuck yourself. Hope you have a terrible night. Everyone else, have a fantastic night. I'll talk to you later. Really quick, I just saw over on Rumble. I'm sorry that I missed this earlier, Deeds, Minnesota, with a gifted subscription. Shout out to Deeds. All right, now I'm done. Thanks, everybody. Bye.